Okay, now we've created this slideshow in InDesign. What are we going to do with it? How are we going to get it into a web page? Well, the way we have to do that is go up to File, and we want to export, and we need to save the name of the show, or save it, and let's call this Travel SWF, and we'll save it to the desktop. And we're going to click Save. Now this is going to bring up a screen that's going to give us some options for exporting. Do we want to export all pages? Well, this is a one-page InDesign document, so there's only one page, so we can export all of them. Do we want to generate an HTML file? And do we want to view the SWF after exporting? We leave those clicked, checked. The size, because we've already set the size in InDesign, we're going to leave it to 100% scale. But you do have some options of changing the size. You can make it a little smaller, a little larger. You can choose background. Do you want it to be transparent or paper color? Paper color is the default. I just leave it. Interactivity in media. Do we want to include all? Yes. And there's an option to include the interactive page curl. Now that is an option that's available in InDesign. I didn't use that when I created this slideshow, so you can leave that checked or not checked. It doesn't make any difference. It's not going to be there. Now InDesign allows you to create and add into a web page movies, as well as creating these flash shows. So you can have movies and audio. And you ask yourself, well, InDesign is basically for print. Well, it used to be. And now that magazines can be printed, sometimes they put them on the web, and you can add interactivity to that magazine when it's displayed on a website. For example, you can have titles flying in from outside the magazine. You can have these wonderful little slideshows. So there is some interactivity. Let's take a look at the advanced file. Okay, we're going to leave the frame rate at 24 frames per second. And with the text, we're going to use the Flash Classic text. We're not going to worry about rasterizing pages, but you notice as I roll over these, it tells you what those mean. And we're just going to leave them unchecked. We don't need to flatten the transparency. Image handling, we're going to use JPEG lossy. That's, as it says, the best choice for small files. I've already set the, when I did the images, I already set the quality of those. JPEG quality is high. I can't go any higher than what I already have. And the resolution at 72, that's the resolution I used when I set this up. Now, what's going to happen is we're going to export this, and it's going to go out there, crank, 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 save, 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 and I asked it to bring this up in an HTML when it got out, and you can see here it is in Firefox, and look what? It's working. Now, that's fine, but what if we want to put this into our own web page? Well, to do that, I'm going to use Dreamweaver just to show you. And I have a page already set up here in Dreamweaver, and I want to go up here to Insert, a Media, and an SWF. Now it's going to ask me, I need to save the file, so it'll save it. And we're going to save it, I'm just going to save it as sample. Save it to my desktop. There it goes, and it's looking for the SWF, and here is the SWF that I saved, Travel. And I'm going to choose that, and we have to give a title to it. For accessibility, we'll call this Travel Photos. And I'm going to click OK, and bingo, it has brought that flash into the web page that I've created. Now, I have some options down here at the bottom. I can align it. Now remember, I've set it to the size I already want. I can resize it in here if I want, but if I wanted to resize it, I would have resized it at that size initially. And let's just go here, and we're going to save it. And then we're going to come down here to preview in a browser, and let's look at it in Safari. And whirl, crank. There's my web page, and lo and behold, it's working in the web page. So you can create this image in InDesign. You can bring it into Dreamweaver, or if you're using another just HTML, you can import it if you like working with code. But you notice it's brought in that whole Flash movie, including the images. I don't have to worry about uploading images in this case. So this should help you in if you want to put in a photo array in your web page for your project. This is one way to do it using InDesign, which I think is just a pretty easy way of doing it. It lets Flash, all that action script is created behind the scenes. So I hope you give this a try.